Taking a look at the troubles of Donald Trump and his conviction, the impact it will have in the fast approaching presidential election in the United States of America. With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a legal practitioner, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. Barrister, welcome to International Forum. I appreciate you coming. All right, and of course, I have a senior political analyst, Ibrahim Momo. Welcome to International Forum. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
Don't forget to mention Douglas Emogui, Esquire. Yeah, he's also a legal practitioner. And of course, welcome, Douglas. I appreciate you coming. All right. Well, it's all about what is going on right now in the United States of America. I've been asking questions. Who is afraid of Donald Trump? Why do they want him out of the race? By all means, any means necessary. And that is what my analysts will definitely delve into. And of course, there is conviction. What would be the impact in the forthcoming election? Let me start off with Ibrahim Momo. What do you feel about all this? Don't forget, Donald Trump's stand is a shame, it's a witch hunt. You not see the light of the day. We're going to appeal. Take it up from there.
Thank you very much. When you did the intro, you said, why do they want him out of the race by all means? I felt it was funny, because that was kind of subjective. I think we should take issues put them in proper perspectives. The issue against Trump, for which he was convicted by a jury, a Manhattan jury in the New York City court, of 34 counts of felony. The issue against him was that he paid hush money to silence
a stripper?
Not a stripper, a hooker, a prostitute, or if you may, a
porn star.
A pornography, porn star, so to say, what we call an ashawo in our local parlance here.
But let's watch our language, please. Where we all air, please.
We are couching it. That's what it is.
Yes,
it is what it is.
Right.
It was paid hard to keep quiet, so as not to, if the leak comes out, so it does not affect his chances in the 2016 presidential campaign when he first won presidency in the United States of America. That was the issue. He claimed that it was for campaign-related expenditure, stricto sensu. Maybe you are paying for vendors, you are paying facility managers. Those are campaign-related expenditure. We are paying to the media for coverage. But paying to Stormy Daniels a whopping sum of money to keep her quiet from the additional leaking was criminal. And he was so properly convicted. July 11th, he will be sentenced. Now, it is good, it is refreshing. It should be something of, something to applaud that nobody, in Nigeria we have this called the law of natural justice. Nemo judice contract. I cannot be a judge in your own court. In fact, we could even say that ideally nobody ought to be above the law. Well, what the U.S. Judiciary is proving with Donald Trump in the first instance and with Hunter Biden, concurrently, the sitting president's son, Hunter Biden, the oldest surviving son they have, is also facing a criminal charge to prosecution too, currently for the use of illegal substances, hard drugs, so to say, while under false claim. When they asked him, he said he wasn't using it. Another time he was using it. So that's something I have passed, but he's being prosecuted for it now. So it's something we should commend the American judiciary. But what is making it, of course in Nigeria we are discussing it now, is because first of all, Donald Trump is seeing it as a witch hunt. He's claiming that it's an attempt to stop it, which is where I think you took it from. All this is a charade, an attempt to stop him from running. And secondly, he is now the presumptive candidate of the Republican Party, one of the two major parties in the U.S. So all this put together makes it a very serious issue of national concern. And he stands a very good chance of winning because he stands head-to-head in opinion polls with the current president, Joseph Biden Jr. So
right.
that's the issue. Really.
Well, now you're saying that no one is above the law?
No, of course.
Because of what?
Nobody should be above the law.
Okay, fine. As a legal practitioner, let's take a look at it from a legal perspective. You had an agreement with someone, money was paid, don't say anything about this, and they agreed to it. And someone inadvertently went out there to break the agreement they had. Should Donald Trump be in this stormy teacup, or Stormy Daniels herself should be the one in the teacup? As a legal practitioner, let's take it up from there.
Well, that should be a concern for Donald Trump as a person. But we are now looking just now at the process for which he has gone through, the trial process for which he has gone through. And I think the germane question would be, is the trial process a just one? Is it a transparent one? That is the question. And to my mind, because I for one also followed the trial process, and just now the court in its wisdom has convicted him yet to be sentenced. That will be on the 11th of July, just a few days from now. And if you look at it, Trump is that character that would always want to tell those who want to listen to him that, look, I am being victimized, I am being intimidated, I have been this and that. Trump is an expert with the usage of adjectives to either qualify those that he doesn't like, even at times qualify himself. So, but the law remains what it is. And I think just now, his utmost concern should be what is the likelihood of the sentence I am going to get. Well, because already, having listened to him, the man is already prepared for an appeal. He's seen that. And he's only just being patient to see how the sentence will come on the 11th of July 2024. Thereafter, he will take the advantage of going upstairs. And if you look at it, just like in your introduction, and also my co-panelist here made it clear that he's the first former American president to be convicted. For me, that is a stigma. And if it were to be over here in this country, the chances of holding a political office is out of it. Because the stigma remains, the person will not be pronounced an ex-convict as it stands, except until there is a presidential pardon. And we know that that can happen with the kind of political abracadabra we play over here. But stricto sensu, with that of the American system, just like my co-panelist said, I would want to give kudos to the judiciary there. You see, ordinarily, nobody ought to be above the law. But we have come to see in some situations that some persons are above the law. Some could be tagged emperor, some empress, as the case may be. And in our clan, you can easily find that kind of situation, even with all the hula of persons who have once upon a time ruled this country from any angle, whether from the local government level, the state, and the federal. But today, government upon government, successive government will tell you, oh, so administration regime did this and did that. But are they able to try them? The answer is no.
All right.
So for the case of Trump, he has been tried and he has gone through the process. So the evaluation of the facts and the evidence before the court, I think that is what the court will use to give him his sentence.
So it's a just judgment. Over now to you, Douglas. Do you feel same?
As a matter of fact, I don't. As Trump has been saying ever since then, that the reason why he's been tried, he's been chastised through the apparatus of the law is because of the fact that he's vying for the office of the President of the United States. Prior to his declaration of intent to run for that office, or to run for the office of the President of the United States, there haven't been any form of legal issues surrounding his personality or his candidature. Immediately he declared or signified interest to vie for that office. Everything came up from all Dick and Harry, from all Dick and Kanye, and trying as much as possible to suppress his charismatic nature or his charismatic tendencies. If we want to look at this question of case critically, There has never been a time a pornographic actress in the person of Stormy Daniels admitted to that effect that neither Trump nor his agents or solicitors, as the case may be, paid that money for having an intimate affair with Donald Trump. So it now borders on the critical issue. If Stormy Daniels is opining that she wasn't paid, will there be a case of a hush money case or an issue of hush money or him, as the case may be, violating the laws of the land? That is the critical issue that needs to be addressed. And if that cannot be established, then we can deduce or we can infer that this whole Ulabalu is just nothing but a witch hunt.
A witch hunt?
Yes. Now, if you look at the other case that has to do with election interference in Georgia, it has been established that the DA of the district attorney was having explicit sexual affair with the person who is serving the responsibility of persecuting Donald Trump. So it's quite obvious, even to the blind and to the deaf, that this issue has nothing to do with the criminal instincts or the criminal tendencies of Donald Trump, but just for the purpose to kick him out of the ballot. We saw what happened before it was passed by the Supreme Court of the United States. This case has to do with...
you have the ability to compete or contest.
Yes, you saw what happened, what transpired. And when it got to the Supreme Court told that the AG of that state that it is not the duty, it is not the legal power or the legal authority of the Attorney General of that state to kick Donald Trump out of the ballot. So if we want to look at this issue critically, free from sentiment, we can be able to align with the fact that all these are happening because Trump is the most popular candidate in the race.
All right.
And Joseph Biden Jr. is trying as much as possible to kick him out of the ballot so that he have a safe landing, an easy ride to be elected as President of the United States.
All right, now you heard the submission of Barrister Douglas Omogri. He said before he declared intention, there was nothing about court cases and all that. And he also raised a very vital point that he was even told not to run until the Supreme Court nullified the judgment for a court in a state that, look, you don't have the right to tell him not to run. And I could never say that this is a case of pure witch hunt. And that was about Trump also is hammering on that he's going to appeal. Now, what can you say from his own assessment of this situation, being a case of witch hunt, and they want him out of the way to give the current president, Joe Biden, a safe landing?
Well, we need to unpack the issues. Issue number one for unpacking is, was there a hush money paid? Was money paid from the campaign funds of Donald Trump to Stormy Daniels under the heading of campaign-related expenditure? The answer is yes, no argument about that.
Why is it yes?
No, hold on. That's how you react. Let him land. Just think of his point.
The Trump's man.
But the Stormy Daniels agreed with the she was paid.
Yes. No.
Hold on. Okay, please,
don't let us not mislead our viewers. There's no argument as to whether money was paid or not. The argument is, what was it paid for? The argument is not whether it was paid. Let's not mislead our viewers. The money, was there a payment? The answer is yes. There's an argument as to what was the intent. Was it paid? Was it actually a campaign expenditure, as was reported? Because you have to retire the funds. It's not every money you get, you have to account for it. How it is spent, you have to account in the course of the campaign. So, was it actually a campaign expenditure, or was it hush money, which is what the accusation has been made is? That is the bone of contention. That's one. Secondly, is that even a layman, you know, I consider myself a layman because I'm not learned, quote unquote, even if, you know. So even a layman like myself, yours truly, will say that it is well established in the presidential system, the idea of separation of powers. The conception, the thinking, or the expression of the fact that it is the President of the United States, Joseph Biden Jr., that is railroading the U.S. courts, and it's being insinuated that it's a witch hunt. It's not, whether they are accusing the courts or the president, we are not even sure now, because if a lawyer or anybody, you know, even a layman like myself is accusing the United States judiciary of being influenced by the executive, that's a serious allegation to make. Something we must not do. Let's put politics in its place. Accusing the U.S. judiciary of being influenced by Joseph Biden, the current president, it's a serious allegation to make. And I think we should not make those kind of, yes, there's politics. Yes, Donald Trump wants to run. And he sees that this case has a chance of stopping his ambition. He has to fight back. That is politics. But to now openly accuse the judiciary of being railroaded by the U.S. executive or the presidency, it's a serious, and I think we should also be circumspect too. Especially because some of us, that's why I said I'm a layman. I put down forward. I'm not a legal practitioner. Okay. So
Right, fine. We have two legal practitioners here. I will come back to you, Ibrahim. Now, you heard him. Two opposing notions. One is saying, look, there was nothing like that until they said he wants to run, to the extent that he went to a court in one of these states controlled by the Democrats, and an injunction was given that they don't have the right to contest. Only for it to move to the Supreme Court and say, look, you don't have the right to tell him that. The Supreme Court penalized that each that he has a right to run. Don't you think that this has a lot of political undertone in it, Vice Emmanuel?
Well, the principle of separation of power, I think, is being guided and being observed, obeyed, and practiced in the United States of America. That's why I did say that the man has the chance of appealing. Yeah. He has the right to go upstairs, and I see him already preparing to exercise that right, just as he exercised it with respect to his ambition to contest, and even when the court downstairs did not want him to contest, he went upstairs and he was granted.
Don't forget, Democrat-controlled state. Underline that word.
It doesn't mean
Yes.
that environment, that atmosphere. It may be maybe we are looking at it based on where we find ourselves. In that climb, it does not play the same way it does here. So, like I said, that these are persons who observe, obey, and practice the principles of separation of powers. So you must take it with a touch of politics.
No. By turn, please.
You want to now. Yes. It's been tried.
Just hold on, but
see, you must take it with either a pinch of salt or wholeheartedly. The germane issue is it practiced? And the answer is a capital yes. So he has the opportunity of going upstairs. Trump, I like him as a person. I like his ways. I like the way he does his things. Because he's that kind of person that will tell you what he does not like and what he likes. He's that kind of person. But again, looking at his character, I will not mince words by saying that the man has a unique character that also affects him. Perhaps maybe that is the reason why some persons like him. But now he has started shouting. He has started trying to twist the arm of the judiciary to the back. That is what Trump is doing, and he's good at that. But I don't think this time around, upon the evaluation of the facts and evidences before the courts, was there a hush money? Was it paid? Why was it paid? To whom was it paid to? all of these questions, I think Trump must have answered them in course of trial. He had opportunity to either sweep them aside by saying that no, this didn't happen. But I saw him also admitted to that fact, that there was hush money. Though he used another nomenclature to begin to give how the money was expended. But the money is not tied to campaign expenses, not at all. So, and in that line, any person vying for a political office, just like Donald Trump, you should not be seen involved in that kind of practice. So now that he is involved, maybe he's only trying to beg the sentence so that the sentence may not go the way that his mind is ringing just now. But I think the process was clear enough. The process was followed with due process. The process was one that has come to stay and to show that really there was a situation of the manner and the magnitude which we are here just now discussing.
So from what you're saying, there's no touch of politics in what played out.
I do not think so.
Over not to you, Barrister Douglas. He said there is no touch of politics. This is the law in which the United States operates, the clear separation of power between the judiciary, executive, and one other arm of government. Go ahead, take it up from there.
The problem we normally encounter, we in this part of the world, or Nigeria as the case may be, we tend to familiarize our judicial system with that of the United States, which is a little bit quite different. In the United States, there are judicial officers who are known. They are known for their political ideologies. You will see a judicial officer who is known to be a conservative. You will see a judicial officer who is known to be a liberal judicial officer. It's quite different from our judicial setup. And when a president or an executive head is making appointments into state courts or district courts or federal courts, as the case may be, they tend to appoint people who are in tandem, who are in perfect synergy or consonance with their political ideology. So it's not surprising that these cases against Trump, these legal cases against Trump, are emanating from a liberal domiciled state or a Democratic Party controlled state. It's a no-brainer. It's quite clear that yes, these cases are emanating from the strongholds of the incumbent president or the protos. So we should try as much as possible to separate the two jurisdictions. America and Nigeria, though it's a presidential system of government, the two countries do practice, but there are little distinctions from one another. And when it comes to judicial procedures, yes, America and Nigeria, we do practice the inquisitorial system. The courts do not play a role in the process making or the decision making of the arguments being submitted by the counsels of the two parties or the two disagreeing parties, as the case may be. And we should also come to the agreement that they practice a dual system in which persons from the locality where the case is being instituted are selected and they make a judgment concerning the substance of the case. And they present it to the judge, and the judge effects them. So it's a little bit different from Nigeria. However, the power to institute a criminal case lies exclusively to the executive arm through the office of the Attorney General or the district attorney, who happens to be the number one a legal officer of the district or where the criminal offense is going to be treated.
Yes.
If we want to look at it from the Nigerian perspective, the district is also known as a local government area in Nigeria. So, whether we like it or not, Joseph Onekpaji Jr. has the propensity to influence any district attorney or any attorney general or even governor who happens to be under his political party. So from that way, we can deduce, we can infer that some way, somehow, the judiciary is being compromised.
They compromised?
Yes.
All right. Hold on. Now you just dropped a bomb, so to speak. Because you said, you said there is a touch of politics, but the judgment is fair. For what is going on right now, all the allegations, all the cases are emanating from Democrat stronghold in some point of view. So how can one say this is just or this is fair, knowing fully well that we have the Democrat in power, we have the Democrat also that don't want Republican to take over the reins of affair come 2024 November, so to speak. Take it up from there.
Well, it's interesting. You localize the origin of those cases that translate into only New York, whereas Georgia is controlled by a Republican governor. You know, in New York, yes, all the mayor's name now, even the governor, they are Democrat.
Can I say something? Because
allow him.
The Attorney General of New York, when he was elected as an Attorney General of New York, she said it categorically that she is going to be a pain in the ass.
Watch your language. Watch your language.
Exactly what she said.
Fine.
Yes,
I know that. Yes. I know she said that.
Okay.
Now, Jennifer, what she said, take it up from there.
So the point is, not all the cases, it's not true, that all the cases emanated from democratic-leaning states. That's not correct. Georgia has a Republican governor. And that information is still very much available for confirmation.
But it's a rumor they say this will happen to Trump.
No, that's New York. And not all the cases are from New York. You had about 4 cases. Not all of them are from New York. Not all of them are from New York. Just one of them, that is from Daniel case. That's the one. He has, this guy also has, Donald Trump, I mean. Also has this issue of non-disclosure of campaign of tax returns. There are cases that are mounted on the guy. So it's not as if it's not as if it's only about Tommy Daniels. And so he's a master in the use of syllogism or emotional blackmail. I'm sorry to use that, but that's the concept I want to create. The fact that he uses these words, these repetitions, these lines, to rally his base, and challenge. He has been cautioned against commenting publicly on ongoing cases. He has continued to do that. Donald Trump, this is Donald Trump I'm talking about now. He has continued to do it. So there are so many issues. I get the feeling that people like him because he's a charismatic human being. He has He has a huge fan base, he has been former president. He has a lot of things going for him. But we need to separate the politics from the law. Again, we make the point that in the U.S. Judiciary, of course, even in Nigeria, the judicial officers are appointed, judges are appointed by the executive. That's a global, that's a universal phenomenon. And that everybody, because judges are human beings, they will have where they lean. They either democratic leaning, which is they are liberal in their mindset, or they are conservative, like the Republicans are. Every human being has those kind of.
So you're saying there's a touch of politics in what is going on right now?
I'm saying that every individual, including the judges, have those needs.
So that means there's a touch of politics. What is playing out right now? Because that's what they're saying indirectly.
What I'm saying is that there's what do you give primacy to? Are you saying that can we sit down on this platform and say that the U.S. judiciary is wholesale compromised, is wholesale politicized? I don't think any of us here can say that.
No, he's saying in this case of Donald Trump.
He put it on a premise that every judge in the U.S. has a leaning, either liberal or conservative.
All right.
On the basis of that, he's saying that, but in this same, concurrently,
yes,
the sitting presidents oldest surviving son, Hunter Biden, is currently being
But they're
prosecuted.
going to trial. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Somebody say that might just be a kind of a plan to say, look, I'm not the one involved with Trump. My son also is also there. Do you feel that that is what is going on right now? At least to create this balance. Be like, okay, fine, Trump is complaining that the U.S. Johnson is corrupt. And now we have Mr. President's son that is being tried. Do you think that's a
former US president.
Okay, a former U.S. president. Thank you. And of course, it's the U.S. President's son is being tried. That might not be the kind of the Democrats.
I don't think that is the situation just now. I want to look at this, the issue at hand, Trump's, let me title it Trump's agony. Just now, I want to look at it that Trump as a person, if Trump had not come out to begin to shout, I will be surprised that he's not shouting.
Knowing his character felt.
Yes. So that's why I started by saying that, who is Trump? What is his character? And this is what the man is displaying his character. He's telling you, this is who I am. When he was there as the president of the United States of America, were there no people who were tried on issues like this?
And convicted.
And convicted? Did they come out to shout?
No ex-president, because that was the because
Listen,
first ex-president.
listen.
Is he guilty or not? Did he commit a crime or not? That's the issue.
Here's the question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Trump is not the only member of the Republican Party, true or false?
Yeah, it's not.
Are we also hearing members of the Republican Party shouting along with Trump that, oh, he's been victimized?
Of course, they are.
Some of them, of course, it's loyalists within the Republican.
Listen.
The Republican speaker.
Listen, if you look at the process just now, one would have questioned the trial procedure. One would have questioned it. Well, but the issue is, was the trial procedure a transparent one? The facts and the figures, the evidences before the court, were they transparent? Did Trump indeed committed this offense as spelled out by the law in the United States of America? These are the issues I think we should be looking at, and not start looking at issues that are being raised by Trump to either disconnect or create more acrimony amongst persons in the United States of America. I give it to him that is the man who can always shout. I give it to him. But in this situation, I do not think that his shouting will yield any result. Perhaps, maybe until the man goes on appeal.
Hold on. Which I might want to react to.
Yes.
Yeah.
The point is that it is not the judge that found Trump guilty.
The jury.
The jury was vetted by both the Trump's lawyer and the prosecution
Yes.
lawyer.
Okay.
So it is not, that point is important, because sometimes we accuse the judge of bias.
Okay.
But this was not the judge now.
The jury.
So the jury that was duly certified by both parties.
All right. Over now to you, Barrister Douglas.
Whether we like it or not, if Trump is convicted come July 11th of this year, that does not
Stop him.
disenfranchise. No, yes, that's the entire one. That does not disenfranchise him to become the president of the United States
If he wins.
if he wins. He can, if he's incarcerated, he cannot exercise his suffrage. His civil right of suffrage, that is the right to vote. But that does not stop him from becoming the president if he's duly elected by the American electorate. We should establish this fact. There is no law in the United States of America that is against a felon from becoming
American
the president of the United States. Now, if we want to look at these issues, the legal issues determining Trump's presidential candidature, we should come to the realization that these cases or these issues, as the case may be, they are very, how will I put it, feeble. They are weak. They are insubstantial. They lack merit. Okay, let's look at the.
Are you speaking as a Trump fan?
Practitioner and a public analyst, and a conservative that I am.
Okay.
You understand? If you look at the case that has to do with classified documents, it's one of the craziest legal issues that I've ever seen. The Presidential Act of the United States states it very clear. It is the express authority of the president to declassify any file whatsoever. In fact, even in his thoughts, if he has that thought of declassifying a particular document, it's disclassified. So it's appalling, it's irritating. If I must use that terminology, it's irritating that the liberals or the Democrats, as the case may be, they are using these cases to construct a clear front-runner of in this forthcoming presidential polls. It's quite evident, and we should not jettison the fact that even Joseph Biden, while he was a senator of the United States, had classified documents in his abode, but nobody is saying anything about it. That is a senator, not a president. Only the president has the power, the explicit power, to declassify a document. But Trump was his rights, his fundamental human rights, was infringed upon. It was ridiculed. It was rubbished. In fact, his own private property was invaded by the FBI. Nobody is saying anything about it. A president of the United States declassifying a document or a declassified document in his own abode, and we all and the Democrats or the Democrat establishment or the Washington establishments, I guess maybe, they are seeing reasons to humiliate the man just because he is a front runner in this presidential position. We should not jettison all this fact.
All right. Now, when the conviction was made, the fund of Donald Trump's campaign went up to over, like, let's say 5 billion or 50 million. I've forgotten the figure, but to millions, to show that some persons are really backing him up. If Trump is as guilty as they say he is, how come there's this sort of sympathy? How come there's this sort of contribution towards his own campaign fund? And invariably, this is going to affect the outcome of the election.
The U.S. election is a money spinner. It's either you have the money to run the campaigns or you get out of the race. There are no two ways about it. So candidates or aspirants in the first instance, and then candidates do their best to raise funds. Because one of the key factors that determine who wins elections is how the deepness of the pockets of your campaign organization. And so Trump has mastered the art of riling his base. If he every reaction. In fact, 2 days ago, it was on Fox News, a Republican, conservative-leaning media house. And one of the things he said was that he doesn't mind if he goes to jail, but he's sure a lot of Americans don't like it. That was classic manipulation. A lot of people don't like it. Meaning that
the lies in it. Is that the truth?
Meaning that if he is convicted,
many will not like
he's already rallying that same base. That donated over 4 million within 24 hours of his conviction. Over 4 million, he about $4 million. That is how he's a master in the art of rallying people, rallying his base. And you see, it might be as simple as politicking, partisanship, playing this issue, playing up the politics in the issue. But it speaks fundamentally to the rule of law. It speaks essentially, critically, to the justice system and how to prosecute criminality. What if you blur the lines between what is right and what is wrong, because it is about you, because it's about a conservative-leaning front-runner, then what after the elections, what next? If you say that it's okay to pay a pornographic actress to keep quiet, not to expose the fact, until the FBI, until Michael Cohen comes out openly, you say it's okay to just pay. It's not in a campaign to keep her quiet. It's okay. You say it's okay for him to accuse the judiciary in the middle of a trial of bias. I just all the things that are going on. We might play up the politics or the partisanships, but what are we doing to the judicial system? Oftentimes they say that the court is the last battle of hope for the common man. If the common man, if the upper class, the elite, yes, can so willfully, run roughshod over the judiciary, where are we heading to at the
All right, I'll come back to you if time permits. A friend of mine just called me from the US saying, look, Wilson, I think Democrats are making a huge mistake by convicting him because he's going to come out due to sympathy votes. He said, look at the barrage of allegations leveled against him because he said he wants wrong. And Americans, somebody can be sympathetic to a perceived oppressed person, talking to his caliber of person. Take it up from there.
I think we are only trying to go around the cycle still. Because if you look at it, the good aspect of it is that in that crime, there is no conviction as to ex-convicts. That stigma is not there. And whether or not he's sentenced, that wouldn't stop him from becoming the president of the United States of America if he wins. The man already said that come 5th November 2024, the electorate, the American people, the voters will determine who becomes the president of America. And I think he should allow it to be that. And not the one that now he's only trying to preach the gospel of bias, try to give a name to the judiciary. Because the man is already acting something so strange. And he is a master of that. And the man is already displaying it. What I think by now Trump should be doing, he should be sober. Yes, just stay sober, then try to see how he will continue with his campaign and probably become the president of the United States of America, and see whether he will have the influence that he is now accusing others of to also play the ostrich with regards to bringing the judiciary under his tight.
Thank you so much, Barrister Emmanuel Folo. Well, Barrister Douglas is going to have the last line of this statement. 1 minute, our time is out. As the case is going, this is going to Trump chances getting brighter or getting dimmer in this particular perspective towards the election.
As a matter of fact, it's getting brighter. Brighter.
It's that
This pass to the White House has never been this clear.
Clear. Crystal clear.
Very sharp. It's crystal. It's illuminating. His presidential candidature is illuminating. Whether we like it or not, the American society, they are having the impression that he's being witch-hunted, he's being victimized, he's being ridiculed and being reduced into inanity. And this will ensure his victory come November 5th, 2024. Because the Americans are electing people. They are vigilant people. That's one thing I really love about them. You understand? They weigh issues based on his merits. And whether we like it or not, there are presidents in the past that have committed much more grievous atrocities than Donald Trump. Take for instance William Clinton. William Clinton, he had a sexual affair with his personal secretary in the office. He was only impeached, and there was nothing.
In America, impeachment is not a signal to removal.
Thank you. Yes, it's not a signal to removal.
Trump has been impeached.
No, does not recognize the word impeachment. Thank you, it's removal. Thank you so much. Well, you can come to me right now where you heard them, they can keep arguing about what is happening right now.
Just as they are divided with Chile, so American partners are divided between the Democrats and the Republicans. Some for Trump, some against Trump. That is what it is right now. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Our time has been completely used up. I appreciate a wonderful analysis. We do again next week Tuesday, God willing. Bye for now.